The client can also practice breathing techniques, yoga and exercise. For example, using 5 slow deep breaths whenever they feel like they're getting stress, or if they know the trigger of that's causing the stress, they can do that before it happens, so they can try and reduce the actual overall long-term effect of it. And they can also practice positive self-talk to stop their negative thoughts. As we know, their stress levels were very high, 9 out of 10, and they said they were very stressed due to social pressures. They feel like they have to be a certain way to fit in, so maybe they are quite lacking in confidence and self-esteem, which is why they have these negative thoughts, is contributing to their stress levels. So by positive self-talk or bullet journaling, using methods just to show yourself that and to be more positive will just help in the long run with your stress levels, and to basically decrease them from a 9 out of 10. Another smart target that they could have is potentially seeing a therapist or talking with family members for 3 times a week, and we're going to monitor that over a month. And in the month we would like their stress levels to go from a 9 out of 10 to a 6 out of 10. And then over a 6-month period, we'd like their stress levels to go down even more, so maybe even to about a 2 or 3 out of 10 in the long term. And I will be regularly reviewing the goals and setting appropriate targets with the client every week to see how they're getting on, see how many cigarettes they're still smoking, and see how their stress levels are progressing. Also, in regards to smoking, instead trying to smoke from below five cigarettes per day. So we're going to try and decrease the amount of cigarettes smoked per day to around 3 cigarettes per day. And we're going to monitor that over a month period and try eventually to see if the client can stop smoking after that month period. So in the long run, in 6 months, potentially we'd like to see the client not smoking at all, so they're 5 to 10 cigarettes per day going down to 0 cigarettes per day in the space of 6 months. By replacing those with stress combating exercises, which we have mentioned as well. And this will help overall increase confidence and increase mood and decrease stress levels. And the last recommendation and strategy for improvement that I've decided to pick for the client was physical activity. It wasn't the most standout weakness, but they had aspects within it that could contribute and could be made better. So they only do low intensity workouts. As we know, they do yoga. They go for about 20-minute walks per day, and they are around 30 minutes, but they're only low intensity, so they're not really contributing to cardiovascular fitness and overall toning of muscle and building muscle, which is what the client obviously wants to achieve. The workouts are only lower body, so they're not training upper body muscles, different parts of the body, so that could be another thing. They are only exercising 4 times a week, and this is still quite good for their physical activity level, but for someone their age, we would expect them to be doing at least 5 to 6 times exercising per week. And because of their high stress levels due to not taking part in physical activity, they've even said that they used to be less stressed when they used to do physical activity, but since the gym's having to close, they haven't been able to, so their stress has increased even more. So strategies that could be implemented is we are going to create a workout plan with varied sessions involving resistance and endurance training. So over a period of 6 months, we are going to try doing 3 sessions a week, incorporating resistance and endurance training. So for example, running on a treadmill for 10 minutes, and cycling, and resistance training, so lifting weights as well. And we're going to obviously increase the repetitions every 2 weeks, or depending on how the performer adapts to the workout plan. So we're going to do progressive overload over time. So we're going to increase the number of the weight, and then we're going to increase the number of repetitions. So the same with endurance training, we were going to gradually increase the amount of endurance training. Also, we could incorporate some swimming and tennis workouts 2 times per week to sort of adapt the session around the client's interests. So they liked swimming and tennis, so perhaps doing tennis target practice, hitting the ball at a target and then receiving it, working on serves and sort of the technique of that as well, which can be good for anaerobic workouts. And swimming as well, we can do aerobic, you can do long distance swimming, things like that to make it more suited to the client. I advise that it's best to start with 3 exercise sessions per week and then increase to 5 over a 6-month period. So we're taking it quite slow but progressive overload, increasing the number of repetitions and sets. And the tracking of workouts. This is really important. The client could track their workouts every day and throughout the week. So at the end of the week, they have a track of the amount of workouts they've done, the number of burnt calories, and the number of steps. This can be done on fitness watches or fitness apps, which are really good. And because the participant can see what they're doing, they can see that they're actively contributing, and it will just help keep them motivated and stimulated to achieve their goals. And another smart target would be to gradually build up the participant's endurance. So we know that the client wants to run a 10k by the end of 2 months, which we said was a bit unrealistic. So we changed this to 12 months. So we're going to gradually build up their endurance and start by running continuously for 5 minutes 3 times a week for 2 weeks, and then we're going to increase every 2 weeks, or depending on how the participant is finding it. If they're finding that it's a bit hard, then we will probably stay at 5 minutes for a month and then increase by each month. So they do 5 minutes for the first month, then 10 minutes for the second month, and keep going like that until they increase. This is depending obviously on their fitness levels, but it's good to progressive overload and to keep increasing the time that they're running as well, and increasing the repetitions and weight so that they can ultimately build muscle and tone muscle, which is obviously their long-term goal that they want to do. Another smart target that we are going to implement as well is to do with the burning of calories. So we're going to include some more HIIT workouts and high intensity training. So for at least 2 sessions a week, the client will participate in around 45 minute HIIT or high intensity cardio workout in order to burn calories more. So this will help with the weight loss, and also it will help with the toning of the muscle as well, and just to maintain the cardiovascular fitness and keeping the heart rate, so pushing the heart rate into its above its maximum threshold, which is really good for just maintaining general health. And also it's going to be able to burn calories. So for example, if she does have a day where she does eat above her calorie intake, she's burning calories, so it isn't going to affect her weight and BMI and waist hip ratio too much. And here's my reference list of where I got all my information from for this assignment. Thank you for listening.